A little proper intro. All right, guys,
Sure.
for those watching and tuning in right now, my guest joining me today, you may remember him from the guinea pig season of Ari the One, or you might remember him from the guinea pig debut of Ari the One on the Challenge, season 26, Battle of the Exes 2.
That's right.
Mr. John Jacobs, formerly known as
That's
JJ.
right.
What's up?
Beautiful. Nice to be here. Nice to see you. Yeah, that's funny. You're having me on a podcast about the challenge. I'm the equivalent of like a kicker in the NFL who played 5 games and then nobody ever heard from him again.
What what
That's
what did you get more notoriety or like recognition from, so to speak? Like if you get like messages or like maybe by some chance you'll run into someone on
Are
the
you the one
street
for sure?
who
Especially
may
because they put it on Netflix. They put it on Netflix and it got top 10, so it was just like it came out for the first time. But yeah, people say what's up to me from Are You the One? Some people know me from TikTok because I make a lot of like stand-up stuff and sketch videos. So yeah, I still get recognized almost on a daily basis. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be even cooler if you got royalties from some of those Netflix
Yeah, they
episodes.
fucked us real bad. They didn't even tell us it was coming out on Netflix. Some random person on Instagram had to tell me. And yeah, they screwed us over real bad. And, the stories, so few people seem to have, positive experiences with MTV. But, it's whatever. I get it. It's a business. If I'm not giving, there's no reason for them to keep calling me up.
Did you have positive experience with MTV?
On Are You the One? Yeah, I had a great time. And then the challenge was more weird. I mean, because Are You the One was a brand new show, and they were like nice to us and stuff, and they're very accommodating. But yeah, the challenge was like because that was on season 26, so it's like they've already been doing this forever, and there's kind of no charm to it like a new show. Like the challenge is just a machine that runs and you're either part of it or you're not. And it was more strict and yeah, they would limit the alcohol we get and we weren't allowed to go anywhere and like yeah, it didn't feel fun. Are You the One was fun and the challenge was like just weird.
Yeah, I do hear it's kind of like a little bit of a prison element to it. Like I think like there is type of psychological thing that goes on there, with the limiting of alcohol and like the kind of enclosing you guys in like what you're limited in doing because they kind of want like a reaction, I think, on
Oh
that show.
yeah. Yeah, everybody on the show is paranoid and then the one I was on was Battle of the Exes too, which is just such a mentally unhealthy concept in general of like you're gonna work with your ex, this person who you've got like problems with or whatever. And then yeah, I don't know, everybody's different ages and what I realized was everybody who's on reality TV is kind of stuck in the age that they got on TV, which I think is pretty funny. Like everybody in the challenge house had like Dumb and Dumber references. And I'm like, this movie came out in like 95. What are you guys talking about? So, it's pretty funny how these people, I mean, reality people in general, it seems like they have like a lot of potential and just no direction. Because like they have good personalities, but there's just no like avenue for them to use any of this talent, I guess you'd call it.
I think in a lot of cases too, when it comes to branching out of reality TV, sometimes reality TV personalities are even looked at a certain way with like kind of a
Oh, sure.
stigma. I mean, you could attest to it. I mean, comedy I know is one industry I've heard that like when people that come out of reality TV try to get into that, they're kind of like almost in a way like doors get shut and they're like, well, what is your talent? Like you're a reality personality. Like what do you have to offer? I mean,
Sure.
did that ever happen for you?
Well, luckily, I had already been doing stand up for like 7 years before I got on TV.
Okay.
So stand up was what I was doing already, and then yeah, once I got reality, I mean, so yeah, some people probably looked at me weird doing shows and like, oh, this is just a reality guy or whatever. But I got to do a lot of colleges, and I still perform at colleges, and I get good reviews every time, and it's like a nice surprise for people. So we assume it's but then it's great every time. So it's like, okay, yeah, he's like a real comedian.
Was it a natural transition for you then, like coming out of the shows, like being able to be like, okay, the show's done. I'm able to kind of ingratiate myself back into my normal life when who I was, or like were there any moments of like kind of maybe being drawn into wanting to like fill a bit of the character that you had to be on the show.
Yeah, people at bars and shit who would meet me definitely would want me to like, I don't know, be like a drunken mess or something. Or yeah, reality TV, you have that stigma of like, oh yeah, drama, let's like cause problems or whatever. So yeah, people would be weird sometimes, but I mean, I was the same on TV as I am in real life, I think, in the sense of, I didn't take any of that seriously and I was just having fun and, living my dreams. So yeah, I mean, I've just been having fun the whole time, and I'm still an entertainer. And yeah, it was funny because on the shows, like on Are You the One, at least, everybody's like acting like they're gonna get famous and shit, and I'm like, none of you guys do anything. Like, what are you gonna be famous for? But for some reason, they're just like, yeah, we're gonna be famous. We're gonna be like famous people, and yeah, none of them became famous, but. Yeah, I think I'm on the way. I've got some good projects I've been working on. I have a new stand-up special coming out real soon, and yeah, so I'm pushing my shit. I am curious, why do you care about reality TV? What do you do this for?
I just saw that there was an audience for it, and I think that the people going on these shows, whether or not the edit, which is typically only like an hour at most, shows it, like they have like kind of stories that are like able to kind of dive more deep into that the casual eye doesn't see. So I guess that part about it intrigued me. So then I thought I could add my own kind of unique and interesting spin on the genre. Then usually we're only seeing like with normal interviews, right? With like the Us Weeklies of the world, it's like standard like robotic Q&A, like surface level questions, and I figured that I was able to add my own kind of spin to it. So here we
That's
are.
nice. Yeah, I mean, I do think reality people are very interesting people, and they always have cool backstories and cool personalities. So it is nice that these people get a chance to shine in some sort of light on TV and see if that brings anything cool to them. But yeah, people get egos and stuff takes over, and yeah, I mean, after I got on TV the first time, I think I definitely thought I was really cool for a while.
Really?
But then, oh yeah, I mean, because you're out and people know you, and I got to do like club appearances and stuff where you just show up and everybody loves you. So I got, you do things that do boost your ego, but yeah, ultimately, you just get humbled. I mean, drugs and stuff and gambling brought me down, and I didn't become a superstar immediately, so I realized like, oh, that's just gonna, I've been doing stand up, but I didn't, get like a Netflix special or anything. I'm still just doing my shit.
Would you say the time on your show, did it hurt relationships of yours or help them?
I don't know. I don't. I mean, I've always been a mess with like relationships and dating, and it's never. I don't know. I get bored, and I'm just not happy in it. I don't feel fulfilled. So it's just felt like more of the same. It probably amplified it because, yeah, now I've been in the public eye trying to date or like be intimate with people, and it was just a total mess. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I had a great time, and I don't regret anything I've done or would have been through. So I've enjoyed the whole ride the whole time, and I'm still having a good time.
Yeah, I feel like maybe this isn't the case in all cases, but I think once you go on a dating show and like depending on like I'm not saying this is anybody in particular, but depending on let's just say to the casual eye, like they don't like, their behavior that somebody showcases like on the show or whatever, it might hurt their relationship kind of status like coming out of the show when you try to meet someone that isn't within like that same kind of reality family, I guess you say, right? Like
Yeah,
they'd probably be like think that you're branded in some aspects as like, oh, this person is not
yeah,
someone
for
to sit
sure.
down with.
Yeah, I mean, it can be harder for people to take you more seriously in a relationship if you were on a dating show or on reality TV. And especially, especially when it's something obnoxious and wild like MTV where you're just drunk the whole time and like, being an idiot. So, yeah, it is weird to be in relationships after all that stuff, but I don't know. I just don't worry about that stuff too much at this point.
Yeah. But you wanted to go on a dating show? Like, was that your plan, or like, did it fall in your lap?
They didn't tell us what it was. They brought us out on the show without telling us what it was. So that was part of the fun. Yeah, they were just like, it's like a reality show in Hawaii, and we'll tell you when you get there. And we're like, okay. So I just I just did it because it was something to do.
Did you submit like a casting call or go to like an open tryout or something?
Well, I had tried out for the real world a while ago, and I didn't get that. Within a year, I got an email, and the person said that they found me on Facebook, which I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, I just got an email out of nowhere that was like, "We have a new TV show if you're interested." So I was like, "Yeah, totally."
Okay. Well, how was the process? What I know they they really examine you. I know for RE the One in general, like it's a really thorough mental examination. Like they ask you a bunch of questions and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah, we had like Scantron tests, and we had like a couple of them had hundreds of questions, and you meet with like a psychologist or psychiatrist, and yeah, interviews and Skype interviews, and yeah, the final thing was you go out to LA and they put you up in a hotel and you like meet the producers and the casting whatevers, and yeah, so like just a bunch of interviews and a bunch of questionnaires. Yeah, because I guess they just want to make sure you're. It's like they want you crazy enough to do a reality show, but like not crazy enough where you're gonna hurt anybody.
mm. Do you remember any like the craziest things that they potentially asked you in that process, or you kind of wiped them out of your memory?
One of the funny questions. It was like one of the written test questions. I just thought was hilarious. It was if you could draw a flower, what kind of flower would you draw? And I don't know what they get from that, but I just thought that was like it's like what the fuck are they trying to learn from us with these stupid questions? Yeah, it was pretty psycho. And yeah, I remember for the Are You the One casting, the like psychiatrist or whatever I met with, because we met with a couple separate people. It was like a psychiatrist and a therapist maybe, but one of the ladies I was like, this seems like totally bullshit or whatever, and she's like, yeah, it is, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds right.
Or on it, like, did you think like, oh, okay, I got this in the bag?
Yeah, I never doubted that we would win. I always assumed we would win the whole time, and I mean, all of it just seems like nonsense bullshit anyway of like this matchmaking stuff. So I was like, there's like producers and cast like they're gonna make it however they want to make it anyway. Like, was this person really my match, or was this just what was convenient at the end? Like, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I had fun, and I felt real feelings at times, but yeah, the whole time I knew it was, it's an MTV reality show, and most of these people are monsters, so it is what it is.
Is there any part of you that feels like maybe the match things were like predetermined?
You say weren't predetermined?
No, were predetermined.
Yeah, I mean that's what it was supposed to be, right? That it was predetermined. Like they're supposed to know who our match is before we go on, right?
But that's just like by the textbook or by the analytics, like not
Yeah.
necessarily dependent on whether or not you guys develop a genuine connection upon meeting.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think in reality, maybe each person on the show they had like three matches, and then as long as you like ended up with one of those three people, it probably worked out into their game.
Okay.
Yeah,
Where
I mean, they got storyboard people and shit on these shows. Like, they're just invested into this. I don't think they would just like let it be a total shit show.
did you enjoy how you were portrayed on the show?
Yeah, I thought they portrayed me pretty good.
What about the challenge? Same thing.
The challenge, I didn't really get much airtime, so I don't think there was much to show anyway. It's because I didn't try to fight anybody and I didn't try to fuck anybody, so they were like, this guy's not doing our favorite things. So
I thought for sure you would have been one of those like under the radar guys that gets kept around for a while because like they enjoyed like just his presence in the house, like they thought you were funny or something.
yeah, you nailed it. That's exactly what it was. But we lost because of a swimming challenge. Simone wasn't great at it, and we got knocked out. But yeah, they said they would have kept me around the whole time. They were like, yeah, you're a layup, whatever. We like your jokes and shit. So, I think I would have stuck around the whole time if we just performed decently in the challenges.
So you told a bunch of jokes like during your time there. That
Oh
goes
yeah, they had it in the shit you're not supposed to show
shit.
or
Should have
whatever.
shown. Yeah.
Yeah, the shit they should have shown show. They showed me do stand up in the house. So like the first night, I said I was a comedian, and they're like, oh yeah, do stand up right now, and like they announced to the house, they're like, hey, John's gonna do stand up for us, and yeah, I jumped up on a table and I did stand up for like 15 minutes, and I killed it, and they loved it, and everybody was happy.
Yeah, it's stuff like that too. Like on a cast full of people, and I think the show is like really dependent on character development and stuff. Like I feel like stuff like that. Why would you leave that out of the cutting floor? Like I understand like there's a limited amount of time to showcase certain like stories and developments that are going on in the episode, but I think that if they would have showed something like that, it would have allowed the audience to kind of like be able to connect with you more, have like some sense of sympathy to see you go home. Whereas like it kind of feels like, they have their favorites and then other people are kind of disposable on the show and just there to get the thing off the ground moving.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like production didn't really care about me or didn't care I was there. So I don't know. I just think I wasn't giving them enough of whatever they wanted. So they're like, yeah, fuck this kid.
Mm. When you get to the airport though, because obviously you guys are new kids on the block, like at that point we hadn't seen Ari the One cast members make the crossover to the challenge. Like
Yeah.
were you guys like very easily like able to ingratiate with those other guys, or like did they kind of have like a little bit of a fraternity vibe coming into this thing, like earn your keep a little bit?
It definitely felt like a fraternity, but they didn't really give a shit or give us any hard time. Like on the show, they made it seem like that. Like they like cut to of Zach being like, we're gonna give these kids hell or whatever. But like they were cool with me the whole time, especially from the moment I did stand up the first night. They're like, oh yeah, this kid's great, do whatever you want. So yeah, it felt like a frat, and yeah, the sense of like, yeah, they're like some sort of weird family, but yeah, they didn't give me any hard time. Everybody was very nice to me.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
So
everything was totally peaceful.
how was your dynamic with Simone heading into the show?
I wasn't a fan of her at the time because, Are You the One was full of clips of her trashing me. So, I was still like, fuck this person. They were mean to me. So, it was annoying to have to do that. And yeah, I think if it was like a solo thing, I probably would have lasted plenty long. But yeah, you're tied to your ex. So it is what it is.
Listen, I'm sure actually doing that experience had to have been like really taxing mentally because I mean I couldn't ever imagine having to pair up with an ex, but I will say like from a casual viewer standpoint, that's one of my favorite seasons like ever of the show that I watched. I really love that season.
Battle of the Exes too.
Yeah, I feel like
Fuck. I looked at it, I was like, this has got to be one of the most boring seasons that's ever been on.
wow, really. A
Oh
lot
yeah,
of
I mean,
a lot of people really like it.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't even finish it.
Wow. Well, I mean, this is the thing too. I think like once you like actually do something and then you watch the finished product back, you have a little bit of a different skewed opinion on it. Maybe that could play a
Yeah,
part.
once I got kicked off, I didn't watch anymore.
It makes sense.
I was just like, yeah, I was there, I get it, and I don't know, maybe it was exciting. When I was living there in the house, it didn't feel like much was going on. It felt slow. I mean, it's just all day long you're sitting around this house, and I feel like the house we had was not a good one because it was like all open air, and
Yeah.
there was very few spots to like be inside. Like our bedroom was pretty much the only thing that was like inside. Everything else was outside. So it was just like miserable hot in the jungle.
Yeah, it was
And
hot as
just-
shit there, right?
Yeah, Central America in the middle of the jungle. And yeah, so like it didn't feel particularly nice, like the house we were in. And yeah, we weren't near anything. Like every time we went somewhere. It was like an hour drive at least, and yeah, so like it wasn't like the most fun atmosphere.
Mm. What you had been there? What, maybe like 3 weeks or something? 2 weeks? How long would you say?
Yeah, for me, I guess I was there for like 16 days maybe.
That's it. Wow. Because I
And
think you went home episode 3. So
well, yeah, well, we got kicked off the show episode 3, but we stayed in the house for 2 more weeks. So like technically I was like fifth out. But yeah, we were off the main house three shows in. I mean, the weeks on these shows are like 2 days, 3 days.
yeah.
So yeah, that lingo of like we've been here for 6 weeks. It's like 13 days.
That was an interesting concept too, putting you guys in a what would it be? Was it the exiled house?
Oh yeah, exile house. Yeah, that shit was hilarious. Oh man, yeah, just me and Simone stuck in this empty house in the middle of nowhere.
Were you guys already mentally checked out at that point, or
I was.
really?
She was still into it. She wanted to get back in the house. I was dealing with a whole bunch of random shit. Like I had been put on like this reality gossip website. I got catfished, and they said I tried to cheat on my girlfriend. And the website which like put this story out, I was like emailing them about it. I'm like, this wasn't even a real person. Like, what is this? And they were like, oh, we got this from somebody from MTV. So it sounded, yeah, they said it sounded like someone from MTV catfished me on purpose because they didn't want me to be in a relationship when I went into the challenge.
So you actually did get catfished, or was
I
somebody?
got catfished. I was doing a show in a different town, and I started getting messages from somebody, and I was responding, and nobody ever showed up. And then it was on the internet, and when I reached out to the website, they said this was given to us by someone who works at MTV. So, and I've heard similar stories from other cast members of like weird shit happening to them, which ruins their relationship. So I have no doubt that MTV goes out of their way to fuck with people's lives to get them in the perfect condition for a reality show.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I mean these are billion-dollar companies, Viacom and shit. Like I'm sure they have people dedicated to preparing the talent to be in the right mindset. So they literally knew where I was. So there was something going on with my phone or what. Anytime I would go to my girlfriend's house, I would get a text message that's like, "We told you not to go there." And I'm like, "What is this?" And like we had to get the police involved, and we couldn't figure anything out. So
So you were actually in a relationship while this person was interesting. Wow.
yeah, I was in a relationship, and then yeah, vague, weird text messages, and yeah, like I think it was for MTV people because they were like referring to my career. They're like, if you listen to us, you'll have a good career. Like saying really cryptic shit to me.
Oh my God. It's like something you would see.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's 100% some weird shit you would see in a movie or TV. Yeah, I think if I broke up with the girl and just did whatever the weird number was telling me to do, like I'd probably still be on MTV.
Were they like blackmailing you?
Not really. Well, it seemed like they were trying to, but I was like, this isn't even a real person. I was like, what are you gonna do to me? Like, I know this isn't a real person. So
Did they reach out to you through social media or like a dating app, or would they just directly texted you?
straight up text message.
I mean, at that point, I would have to speculate that it would probably either be somebody you know, like, or somebody who has it out for you, like trying to like play a prank on you or something, or potentially MTV themselves.
I think it was MTV because when on Are You the One, they took our phones for 50 days, and I don't have a password on my phone, so I'm sure they just put like a location thing on me so they could see anytime I was at my girlfriend's house.
Wow,
Yep.
this is
Pretty
interesting.
wild. Oh yeah, I'm probably gonna get killed just for talking about this. But they don't give a shit about me at this point. They know. They know.
So you knew while you were in the exile house, like that this was happening. How'd you find out?
It happened before I got on the challenge.
Did you get your phone back in exile and like, or you just?
Well, I mean, like we get like phone calls every now and then, but like the whole catfish thing and the issues happened before I went on the challenge. So while I was on the challenge, I was still dealing with like this weird thing had just happened to me, and like clearly somebody's stalking me and my girlfriend.
And so you brought this to the authorities, and they just didn't have any conclusive, I guess.
No, I mean there was nothing to trace besides like the one phone number that was messaging me, and it was like so it was like messages through a second app that had a number, so it was all like very well, I don't know, dealt with.
But you never heard anything like come from that then? Like you don't know still to this day, like concrete,
Nope.
like what it was?
Still
Wow.
no, still no idea. It just stopped texting me.
Like did you notice a pattern like once like you started to bring it to the authorities' attentions when the text stopped, or did they still keep going? Like,
I think I just blocked the number, but yeah, it would only message me when I would go to my girlfriend's house. But there would never be like any cars around that are watching me, so there would be no way to know I was there unless you were tracking my phone.
wow.
Yeah.
So did you get the article or whatever it was pulled down, or is it still up there?
No, I got them to like, yeah, reword it and be like, it turned out like he's being like stalked and this is real. So I got them to change the article.
Wow.
But I don't know if it's even up anymore. I think they took it down.
Well,
Crazy shit, dude.
imagine that. Like, it's just so weird. I can't even wrap my head around that.
Oh yeah, it's some Illuminati shit. But like, because there was an MTV reunion show. It was either Are You the One or The Challenge or something. And yeah, two of the cast members were talking about their relationship, and then one of them was like, yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, I got this stuff texted to me from some random number, and then it ruined their relationship. So after seeing that, I was like, okay, there's a pattern of this happening to cast members. So yeah, I'm 100% sure that the people at MTV have designated people to fuck with you.
Wow. Has that rubbed you the wrong? Has that kind of like soured over your maybe opinion on like your time there then, or?
No, I don't let it bother me because I mean, business is disgusting, and the more money involved, the grosser shit people do. So I get that, it's not personal. They just wanted me to be the best possible castmate. And yeah, this is the kind of nonsense conspiracy shit that exists in every aspect of industry. So, when millions and billions of dollars are involved in anything, there's going to be influences.
Right. Well, I mean, one thing that you did take part in on that elimination round on the challenge was that eating thing.
Yeah, stupid eating.
How difficult? What was it that you ate? Were you eating the?
It was just like some dry cookies.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like some dry banana cookie or something.
You didn't have the Yucca sticks, right? I think that was Brittany.
That was Brittany. Yeah.
Adam had the brownies, right?
Yeah.
And what your thing was like this like weird. I don't remember the name.
Cones.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Is that actually hard to eat?
Yeah, it was just like a hard dry cookie, and I mean, if I really pushed, sure, maybe I could have done it, but I just couldn't do it at the time. Yeah, it was, the most anti-dramatic elimination of all time. It was all so weak, dude.
I couldn't believe that they actually did that. That's usually something you would see on like like one of those like regular challenges you guys do during the daytime.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty weak, dude.
I know. And it was like so highly anticipated too, seeing Ari the one against Ari the one.
Yeah, Ari the one against each other. Such worthless nonsense.
Yeah. Did you get called did you get called for any future seasons after that, or was that it?
Oh, no. They never talked to me again.
Wow.
I didn't give them what they wanted, man.
So not even like another show, like a spin-off show for any like other shows?
Well, they did call me at one point for X on the beach.
Really?
But yeah, but it like turned out to be a mistake because they wanted Simone on it, and she said her ex was named John, and they thought it was me, but it was like a different guy.
Where were you guys on like a scale from 1 to X, Simone?
I mean, we weren't really, much of anything. I mean, we talked on Are You the One for a little bit, and then it was an issue the rest of the show. But we're fine at this point. I mean, we're okay. We
Yeah,
don't talk. I mean, yeah, I haven't seen her in 7 years probably.
probably since then.
Yeah, probably since we left the airport coming home from Central America.
Hmm. I did see after that, not too long after that show, you had like a little bit of a hospital scare.
Yes, I did.
What was that like, or what was the stem rather, if you don't mind
And
sharing?
I overdosed on cocaine.
Really?
Yeah.
I think many people thought you were joking when you said like drugs, or I say no to drugs, something around those lines, right? I think.
Yep, I overdosed on cocaine, and it was especially sensitive time because DM and Knight had just died. So I was I was on that season with them, and so for a third person to go to the hospital with something, it was very serious, and yeah, so that was a terrible time, and I don't do coke anymore.
Mm. Do you have a good relationship with those two while you're on that show?
Yeah, Knight and DM were very cool to me, and Knight really enjoyed my stand up, and he continued to tell me that throughout the show, and he was very nice to me. So yeah, they were both very cool to me, and yeah, it was a shame. And one thing was they did like a special for DM after she died, and they asked me if I would record like a video message for it, but I didn't do it just because I don't know. It didn't. It felt too strange for me to record a video message for someone I didn't know that well to be put on TV. So that just felt a little too personal and intimate to do. So I chose not to participate in that.
It makes sense. I mean, everybody goes about, I guess, their coping methods differently, so you can't really condemn you for not doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it just didn't feel right to like, I don't know, do this thing of like acting like we were real close friends or something. I mean, we didn't know each other that well, so it didn't feel right to make a message of like, hey, you're so great, I miss you, this and that. It's like, I don't, it just, I don't know. It feels exploitive to make something like this. I mean, yeah, it just, I don't know. MTV's weird. All networks are weird, but MTV's a little extra because it deals with like youth culture. So there's an extra layer of like toxicity that they add to everything they do. I mean, Bo Burnham talked about it because he made Zach Stone for them, and Bo Burnham said that he doesn't like MTV because they sexualize children. And yeah, it's a company that sells sex to kids, and they're never gonna speak to me again. They're going to kill me, I know it. But yeah, it's it's all Illuminati nonsense, man. Everything's triangles. The VMAs is a weird ritual, but yeah, it's just there's some level of strangeness that kind of feels off to a lot of the things they put out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got a lot of good things going on today. I know TikTok you mentioned is something that you've taken part in recently. Has you felt like that's rejuvenated yourself in terms of like your career path at this point?
Yeah, the Are You the One being put on Netflix got me like back out, and then I started making TikTok, and I'm at like almost 350,000 followers, and
Wow.
so that's been nice. And I get money from TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and all that. So that's been nice for people to see my stand up, and to be able to look at content and I create. So that feels nice. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice to get on some sort of TV show in the future, whether it's scripted or reality. I mean, I prefer to do something professional as opposed to like drunken reality nonsense. But if that's the only opportunity, I'd probably do one of them again.
I mean, you seem like you could probably translate well into acting.
I think I could. I mean, I've made like a million comedy sketches over the years that have different ranges of emotion, so I think I could play any part. But yeah, it's just about getting in front of the right people or auditioning for the right thing and seeing if I get it.
Do you want to plug your TikTok at all, or?
Sure. Yeah, my TikTok is at John Jacobs CC. So
Awesome.
if you look that up, you'll see tons of videos and stuff.
You go by JJ more often, or do you go by John?
I go by John, and if somebody calls me JJ, that's fine. I don't really care, but yeah, not that many people anymore would call me JJ. It's usually just John.
Was that just a show thing, JJ?
No, in school growing up, like some kids would call me JJ, so it was kind of mixed, maybe 50-50.
Hmm. Do you have an interesting background coming onto the show? Any complexities or?
Um, yeah, I don't know. I grew up with Tourette syndrome. That's a thing, and I
Wow.
still have it, and it's suppressed, and just family stuff. But yeah, I think being a comedian from a young age and just growing up with different struggles or whatever, I think it's an interesting background, and dating's always been a mess for me. But yeah, so I like to think I have a pretty interesting life.
Did they ask you at all about any of your background with the
Oh,
process?
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I talked to them about all my stuff, and I think that's why I got on, because they saw that I had you know been through and handled things.
I think you would have been a great fit on the Real World, honestly, if they got
I
to
think so
showcase.
too. Yeah, it's not too late. Well, I'm probably much too old for it now, but
I don't even think it exists anymore.
yeah, I don't even think it exists.
They've been doing Real World homecomings, like where they're revisiting and doing like bringing old cast back and having them live in their old house for 2 weeks and rehash the past and current events. But as far
Yeah.
as current Real World goes, like with casting new people, that thing has been dead for probably about 5 years at this point.
Maybe Big Brother. I'm probably old enough for that.
Listen, you could probably go on Survivor too, even.
Yeah, I'd do any of that shit. But
Be good for your comedy too. You get to spread the word.
yeah, comic relief. All those shows need a funny guy.
Listen, I think that's what you should do. I think you should go out for Survivor or Big Brother going forward, maybe.
I'll try.
It'll be a redemption arc.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, I just want to thank you again for your time today. I had a great time chat with you. You're going to pick your brain a little bit, and I wish you luck and success with all your future endeavors that you got going on.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's nice that you run a podcast and talk to all these all these washed up nobodies. But that's nice that you're letting us continue to talk. And I like good attention. I like positive attention. So happy to do something that seems that it's rooted in kindness and good stuff. So yeah, hopefully you have success and you keep cranking these out. And I like the graphics you have for all of them. It looks well done. So yeah, hopefully you can get a big audience.
Thank you. All right. Take care.
See you later.